Hi everyone, thank you so much for clicking on the video. Hope everyone's having a great day so far. Welcome to my channel. So I wanted to come on today and talk about the Basketball Wives reunion. This was part one, and this is a two-part reunion. Whew, all right, let's just go ahead and get right into it. Anyway, okay. So the episode starts off with all of the ladies arriving to set. Everybody's in their separate dressing rooms getting ready. You have Evelyn with her glam squad. She's already cracking jokes on OG, and yeah. Let's just go ahead and skip to her meeting with Shawnee. And Evelyn is saying how she's been going back and forth with OG on social media and how OG is continuously bringing up Chad in their arguments. And then they start to talk about how OG has done a lot of things behind the scenes that we just haven't seen. That pretty much just adds more fuel to them already saying like how aggressive she is and whatnot. But it's kind of like, we haven't really seen all of that. So, you know, do I believe them? Not really, just because we haven't really seen a lot of proof. But basically, they just don't want to be around OG because they think that she's way too aggressive. But we'll get into that in a second. And Evelyn basically makes it clear to Tawny that she does not want to be around OG. So with that in mind, we have first of all, the host was Mark Lamont Hill, as he's been for the past few years. I miss John Sally as a host because Mark just comes off too biased, and I really just don't agree with it. So we see him, he's heading over to OG's dressing room. OG's basically saying that, she's telling her glam squad that she feels like she's going to be vindicated finally. And so Mark goes over to her and basically just starts expressing to her that, other cast members, I don't know why he tried to protect Evelyn, just basically just flat out say Evelyn basically made it clear that she doesn't want to be around OG because we all knew that. So Mark is basically telling OG that they kind of want to put her on a separate set, and OG's not really going for it. So Mark even says, "Well, would it be okay if we put you on the same set with Tammy? Because Tammy had requested to be on a separate set." And OG's whole thing is no, she wants to be on the same stage as everyone else. She feels like she should be on the stage with the people who have thrown drinks, actually fought others, and have just shown, that have just shown a lot of aggressive behavior because it's like OG's really no different than the rest of them. They all pop off, they all fight and all that. But, first of all, speaking of Tammy, Tammy wasn't even there because she had an allergic reaction. And just want to say real quick, I love Tammy and I miss her. And, she's going to be doing such amazing things. And I'm glad that she's leaving the show because it's just not good for her anymore. And she's even realized that. So, on to bigger and better things. But anyway, Tammy actually did put a tweet out. I don't know if you guys saw it, but she said, "Boy, I'm seeing the lies and I wouldn't comment, but don't include me in them. I did not request to be on a separate stage. I was told that's how it would be set up. However, I didn't attend anyway. But don't lie on me to try and make your actions make sense. Hashtag BBWLA, hashtag I'm tired." Oh my goodness. That just sounds like something that Tammy would say, honestly. And I believe Tammy because why would she ever request to be on a separate stage, especially when she barely filmed with all of the ladies? So, you know. Anyway, so Mark, he's trying to compromise with OG because he wants OG to be there, I guess, but OG, she's just not going for it. And I agree. She needs to be on the same set as everyone else. So Mark goes over to Jackie and tries to get Jackie to basically just help Mark kind of convince OG to still do the show. So and then he even goes to Cece and tries to get Cece on board as well. And he's like, well, some people are like afraid of OG or whatever. They don't want they're basically scared for their safety or whatever. And Cece's like, oh, so now they're scared? And it's like, exactly. But anyway, so Mark, Jackie, and Cece, they all go over to OG's dressing room and they're trying to see what they can do. First of all, Jennifer was the only one on stage. Jennifer's like, you could hear one of the producers saying, "Why is Jen the only person on stage?" They were already behind like an hour. So everybody's trying to convince OG to still do the reunion. And Cece's whole thing is if it's not going to be done the right way, then we shouldn't even do it. And Jackie's whole thing was, there was one time when, if you guys remember, a few years ago, Drea did her reunion separately. But the difference between Drea and OG was that Drea chose to do that. OG doesn't want to do that. She wants to actually sit on the stage and be face to face with the people that she needs to address. And like I said, I agree. But basically, OG's like, you know what? If that's what y'all want, then I'll just go home. And she left, and Cece was like, well, if OG's not going to be there, I'm going to leave too. Let me tell y'all something. I don't care what anybody says about OG and Cece. Those two ride for each other. And I could do nothing but respect it. So, with them out, we just have to work with who we have left. Now, with OG and Cece being out of the picture, we're going to try to do the reunion as normal because they're already 2 hours behind schedule at this point. So, Jackie, she's heading to the stage, and everybody's trying to figure out the seating arrangements. And it makes me kind of wonder, like, how does Basketball Wives production usually handle the seating? Don't they put out a seating chart before the reunion starts so everybody already has an idea before they get to the reunion or so? I don't, because I watch a lot of Real Housewives of Atlanta, and I know that whenever they're getting ready to do reunions, we always find out what the seating chart is. So it's like, do they already go ahead and just set that seating chart so everybody already knows once they, like, either before they get to set or whatever? But it just came all very unorganized to me because it's like, okay, I think it was on the left side you had, it was Kristen, Phoebe, Malaysia, and Evelyn. And Jackie says that she wants that first seat next to Mark, or she's not going to go out there. And that really just made no sense to me. It's like, why do you want the first seat so bad? So Shawnee, she goes over to Evelyn because Evelyn had the first seat. So Shawnee went over and was like, do you mind just moving to the other side? And she's saying, like, the reason I'm asking you this is because Jackie is saying that she wants to have that first seat next to Mark. And everyone's like, I'm not going to move just for that reason. And it's just like, yeah, like, if production wants you to sit there, then you sit there. I mean, I don't really know how it works, but I'm pretty sure that's how it would happen. Honestly, I don't know. Y'all know Jackie Christie. She's going to make a moment. And I just felt like, Jackie, you already just. I like Jackie, I do. But it's like, you're just wasting more time worrying about your seating and stuff. Like, she actually was not going to go out on stage unless she had the seat that she wanted. And it's like, so we just dropping like flies already. OG, Cece, then Jackie. Like, who's next? So once they finally get the seat, oh, let me say this first too. When they were figuring out the seating, when people ended up moving, I noticed Malaysia and Jennifer were right next to each other, and I was like, "Oh Lord, okay, these two don't need to be next to each other." But thankfully, they got Jen and Phoebe to switch places. And let me say this too: I think Jennifer looked really beautiful. She looked very beautiful and classy. I liked her dress. I did. And Shawnee, she was like, "I hate that dress," and I'm just like, you know what, Shawnee? Shawnee gets on my nerves now, and I used to really like Shawnee. It's like now it's like I want to like her, but she does too much. But you know what? Let's go ahead and fast forward. Now that the seating is finally finished, we can finally get into this reunion and see what we came here to see. So now that the reunion is finally going as scheduled, we go ahead and just jump right into the obvious fact that three people are not there, which is Tammy, OG, and Cece. So once they say, like, Tammy, she had an allergic reaction, so that's why she wasn't unable to come. Then we start talking about OG, and basically Mark is saying that basically Evelyn did not want to be on the same stage as OG, which is something we already knew. Because once this hit the blogs, everybody was pretty much saying this either has Evelyn and or Shawnee written all over it. So, with that being said, Mark asked Evelyn, why don't you want to be on the same stage as OG? And Evelyn's reasoning is she doesn't want to be on the same stage as OG because she doesn't want to share the stage with someone who is taunting her with her abuser. Okay, let me just say this. I honestly want to believe Evelyn's reasoning because, I can understand because it really did get kind of ugly between those two on social media. But what I don't understand is, why would you say that's your reasoning for not wanting to be on the same stage with this person when after in Costa Rica, the episode before the finale when OG threw out the fact that she had been talking with Chad, why did Evelyn feel the need to reach out to Chad and get the direct messages between the two of them and print them out and bring them to OG to start more drama? And when OG gets her receipts and basically makes you look crazy, now it's a bigger issue. I basically just feel like, really, what I really feel like is that Chad should have never been brought up. He should have never been brought up in this to begin with. But I also feel like Evelyn should not have gone back and gotten receipts and tried to prove a point. But when OG did it to you, because most people on social media were Team OG, are Team OG. So, that just makes no sense, because I would have never tried to reach out and prove a point, especially if it's somebody that I'm no longer with, But that's just me. Yeah. But anyway, so they start talking about how they feel how OG is just way too aggressive, and Shawnee basically said it's really every time that we film. She even said there was a scene that we didn't see where OG had actually tried to fight Phoebe and ended up pushing Shawnee, and they showed us the little clip of that, and it's like, okay, I can see that, but it's like, is it really every time that you guys film? And if I remember correctly, I think this was from that Crystal party, which was probably the second episode. So it's like, well, dang. Well, maybe not the second episode. I don't know. But anyway, it was like, this is what I just don't like. They basically are just trying to say that OG is way too aggressive and that every time she's around, things tend to escalate. But let's be clear, things have been escalating on this show long before OG even became a cast member. I like Evelyn, but I have to say this. Evelyn's been fighting on this show since day one. Because who has she fought? She got into it with Susie. She got into it with some girl. I think it was the first season. I don't really remember who she was. I just remember Evelyn threw water on her and threw the cup at her forehead. She's gotten into it with Royce. She's gotten into it with Jennifer. Oh, and her and Royce, they were throwing glass at each other.
What did I say?
No, you shut the up.
You lucky. Oh, you lucky. You about to get it.
And Evelyn jumped off of a table to get to Jennifer. And recently, earlier this season, she jumped off of a table trying to fight Dominique, Jennifer's friend.
Don't come for me. So whatever. So what? I ain't scared. I ain't scared either, motherfucker. Doing a lie. Are you serious? She doing way too much. I'm never in line. But you grown-ass woman. Who the does she think she is? Sticking her nose into our business because you know Jennifer? At the end of the day, you're nobody to us. Nope. You don't want this, bitch. That's the wrong energy you got. You need to keep that same energy when you see me, bitch, because
and at that time, she got into it with both of them around the same time. So it's just like, why does it seem like Evelyn gets a pass? We don't ever see Shawnee ever hold Evelyn accountable for her actions. This lady has been in one too many fights. So it's like, oh, and let me not forget this. She threw wine bottles at that restaurant or whatever. And it's just like, okay. So Evelyn, she's done all of these things. Really, as far as we know, we've only seen OG basically try to get physical with Phoebe when she ended up pushing Shawnee. That's all we've seen. So, and OG thinks it's a colorism issue. Now, do I think it's a colorism issue? I want to say no, because it's like, it kind of doesn't make sense to me, but at the same time it does. It's kind of, you know what? No, I'm just say yes. It does seem like it's colorism because, OG, she is pretty much the darkest person on the show, and most people seem to think that dark-skinned women are just overly aggressive, they do too much, they're known to pop off, when that's not always the case. What I've really noticed with OG is that people were really talking behind her back, but when she confronts them, now they're scared. Just like when OG confronted Phoebe about the rap, which we'll kind of have to get into a little bit later because it was addressed later. Um, OG's not afraid of any of them, and they're not really used to someone matching their energy. So I can see why she thinks it's colorism. And a lot of people think so as well. But basically, no one on the stage seems to think that. People in the audience really didn't think that it was. It's like, honestly, for me, I don't really know how to explain colorism. I'm just going to be completely honest. I mean, I know what it is and such, but it's like, I feel like it's really something that you just can't explain unless you feel that you've been in that situation. You know, I'm just being honest. I really just don't quite know how to explain it. Like, that's why I want OG to be able to say her piece so she can say why she feels that she's being a victim of colorism. She should be able to, that's another reason why she should be on the stage, just so she can share her piece. So I do hope that on next week's episode she's able to do that, because we know that she came back, but we'll get into that in a second. But anyway, let's just go ahead and move on from this. Basically, Evelyn and Shaunie are just full of it. I like them, but their true colors are showing. But anyway, so moving on from that, Jackie and Phoebe, they kind of start to get into it, and you know, Phoebe's basically whole thing was she felt that Jackie was twisting her words to Tammy about when Tammy said that she wanted to get into music. Basically it was kind of under the impression that Phoebe had said that Tammy was too old to be doing music, but Phoebe's whole thing is, oh, that's not what I said, that's not how I meant it. The thing about Phoebe is that, you know, when she first came on the show, I was thinking to myself, I think I'm gonna like this girl. But it just seems like she talks way too much. Every time someone confronts her, she all of a sudden has amnesia. It's just like, girl, just own it. You know, like, you said what you said, just own it. People would actually respect you for owning it. I mean, I would be like, okay, I think she's messy. I feel like she always has something to say about people, but I mean, she's owning it. So yeah. Jackie and Phoebe's argument was just very ridiculous to me. And, you know, they start talking about, oh, Phoebe's like, oh, you want to get all this lipo so you can get a body that looks like mine. And Jackie, she starts showing, like, the old Jackie Christie really came out at this reunion. And I'm just like, you were doing so good, Jackie. Like, last year, she didn't pop off. She wasn't involved in drama like that. And it's just like, you right back to it. Ooh, Lord. Okay. And then we start talking about the rap or whatever, and how Phoebe made a reference to fake luxury clothing. And I think everybody can pretty much agree that it was about OG. You know, she may not want to admit it, but I think we can all just agree that it was about her. Now, it's like, who cares if OG's shirt is fake or not? It's a lot of people out here who wear fake Gucci, fake Fendi, fake Prada, whatever. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, if what OG was wearing was fake, she won't be the first and she won't be the last. So it's like, who cares? Oh, this is stupid. Let's move on. All right, so obviously Jennifer wasn't at the reunion last year, so we kind of have to take things back kind of to Amsterdam a little bit, you know, where it came out that Jennifer had so much to say about Shanice, and we kind of see how much Jennifer and Evelyn got into it this season. And basically Jennifer is still dealing with the death of her mom, and Evelyn feels like Jennifer is using that as an excuse for her behavior. Basically, I really don't want to repeat the comment that Evelyn said at that group event that they had, but basically Evelyn is saying that, so you lose your mom and it turns you into this really bad person, you know, you're out here starting all this drama, spreading so many rumors, and just talking behind so many people's backs and stuff. So we kind of just get back into that, and, you know, I understood where Evelyn was coming from. I did not feel like Evelyn was trying to disrespect Jennifer's mom. I can understand how it comes off like that, because basically, you know, no matter what you're going through, it shouldn't really push you to just spread all these lies about people. So, you know, Jennifer, I really do like Jennifer. She does still kind of get the side eye from me from really just not owning anything from last year, but we've completely moved on from that at this point. It's like, at this point, nobody really cares. Still like you, Jennifer. But anyway, so we end up rehashing the whole rumor from last year about Evelyn sleeping with Shaquille. And, you know, Shaunie's whole thing is she she just doesn't like it when people talk about him or bring him up in mess, because it's like, you know, you're disrespecting the father of her children. And I can understand that. And Jennifer still really just wasn't owning it. And it's kind of like, you know what, had Jennifer been at the reunion last year, we wouldn't even be talking about this right now, I feel like. But, you know, I guess we still got to talk about it. You know, Shawnee never got an answer from Jen and stuff. And, you know, basically Jennifer was deflecting. But do I think that those two will be able to make amends and at least be cool again? Probably not. So with that being said, Shawnee, I guess she just couldn't take it, and she was like, you know what, I'm gonna just go ahead and leave. And Evelyn was like, well, then we all leaving. And I'm just like, okay, so this reunion was just messy. Like, it was so stupid to me. I'm like, you know, this is my thing about Shawnee. I understand where she's coming from, but why does it seem like it's okay for her to talk about other people, to say all these negative things about others? And basically, if you guys watched Jennifer's interview on The Breakfast Club last year, Jen did say that Shawnee starts a lot of drama behind the scenes. And this is something that we've all known for years. So, did she lie about that? No. Why does it seem like it's okay for Shawnee to do it to other people, but it's not okay for people to do it to her? I'm not saying that y'all should be doing it at all. Y'all really shouldn't be out here spreading rumors and talking about people's kids and talking about the father of people's children. Like, I mean, you shouldn't be doing that to begin with. Y'all are too grown for this. But what I've noticed about Shawnee is that, like, I need to bring in another show to make this comparison. If you watch Married to Medicine, then you know that Mariah is also an executive producer. Well, she is the executive producer, and like, it's her show. So basically, Mariah and Shawnee are completely similar. But what I've noticed about Mariah is that she will throw shade, gossip, and argue with the other women. But with Shawnee, it just seems like Shawnee just comes off as she doesn't like conflict, she doesn't like drama, but basically behind the scenes, she starts a lot of drama. So it's like, that's really why I feel like you should not be an EP and a cast member, because it's very easy to play both sides of that. But Shawnee, she ends up walking off stage after getting into it with Jennifer, and then she ends up coming back, and I was just like, you know what, okay. So as Shawnee's coming back to the set, she basically just needed to take a break. I get it. As she's coming back, OG is on her way back to the set as well. So she agrees to come back, and she does go on that separate set, and she has Kwame with her. And right then and there, she just goes ahead and starts getting into it with the other ladies. She got into an argument with Malaysia, and Malaysia's asking Jennifer, Kristen, and Jackie if they feel that they need to do the most to be accepted in the group or whatever, because Malaysia and the rest of the other ladies just don't quite understand why OG feels like it's a colorism issue. And I basically just feel like maybe if you just let her say her piece, you can understand where she's coming from. But they don't want to do that. And then OG even asked Malaysia, you know, what was your complexion before you bleached? And honestly, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, it was about time somebody said something about that, because now I love Malaysia, I do. But I have always said to myself, you know, the more I watch this show, her skin seems to get lighter. You know, I thought I was tripping, but I mean, hey. But if she bleached, you know, I don't know. I don't know Malaysia like that, so maybe she did, maybe she didn't. If she says she didn't, then yeah. You know, I just feel like there's really no point in arguing with that. But after that, after they get into it, Kwame ends up saying his piece, and he ends up getting into it with Phoebe. Now, normally I would say men should stay out of women's business, but I can understand because people were talking about him, and I'm not gonna lie, he put Phoebe in check. Phoebe, you gotta hold that L. But anyway, not really gonna go too in detail of that because we didn't really get to see a whole lot. So that will pretty much be on part 2. So we'll just go ahead and wait for part 2 to see what happens. But let me just say this too. With colorism still on my mind right now, if you saw the preview for next week's episode, you know that they're going to have a colorism conversation with Shawnee. Why are y'all doing it with Shaunie and not OG? OG's the one who feels like she's dealing with it. So you should have a conversation with her and not Shaunie. Now, what you could do was have a conversation with both OG and Shaunie at the same time. But Shaunie probably wouldn't want to do that. So I can't wait to see what she has to say about it, what everybody on social media has to say about it, because it already just comes off as it's not going to go the way that we think it's going to go. But with that being said, also before I go, I want to touch on OG and Evelyn. They clearly have a legal battle going on, and I really did want to touch on that, but I'm gonna just wait until next week because I think next week we'll actually get to see OG and Evelyn kind of go back and forth. So I think I'm gonna just wait until then to really talk about it. But with that being said, thanks for watching the video. I hope you guys liked it. Leave a comment. Do you think OG is suffering from colorism? Why or why not? Why or why not? Leave a comment, like, subscribe, and feel free to follow me on Instagram at 3_Tommy_1997 and Twitter at Tommy1997 with 2 underscores at the end. One thing I will say is, like, if for whatever reason I don't get a video up, you can always follow me on Twitter and see what I'm saying about the show, because I'm not gonna lie to y'all, doing these videos is kind of hard. And because I'm so long overdue, but that's a conversation for another day. But anyway, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys later.